Have you noticed in the last several years we have become more health conscious? I mean, it's common to hear words like vegan, gluten-free, organic, farm-raised, non-GMO, cardio, muscle tone, and so on and so on. Even pharmaceutical and supplement companies advertise their latest products on the airways and the internet. Exercising more to eating healthier is trending today. But something that is also trending and becoming more visible is mental health issues. According to the National Alliance on Mental Health, did you know that 5% of adults experience a mental illness in any one year? Did you also know that 16.5% of U.S. youth aged 6 through 17 experience a mental health disorder? That is 7.7 million young people. Mental health and physical health are closely connected, but more emphasis is placed on physical health. Today on God Dreamers, we're going to take some time to discuss mental health with our guest, William Hemphill, who is a licensed professional counselor. He will be sharing his journey and also practical ways to identify mental health issues and how to get help. Welcome to another exciting episode of God Dreamers, and today I got a special treat. I got a good friend of mine. Actually, we haven't seen each other in many years, but we crossed paths in many ways over the last several years, from school to music and so forth. But I'm so excited and grateful for him being able to talk about one of the really pressing topics that we're kind of encountering, especially during this time right now. With, as many of you guys know, we're going through this COVID and this virus, and a lot of people are stressed out. And so today we're going to really focus on mental illness and mental awareness. So anyway, without further ado, my guest today is my brother, William Hemphill II. So thank you, William, for just joining with us today, man. I'm so excited. I'm really elated about what we're going to be talking about. I know there's going to be a blessing to a lot of those that are watching today. So I'm just thank you that you took the time out to hang out with us today.
No problem, man. It's good to be here.
It is, man. So, getting started, like I said before, William and I go way back. So William, kind of share a little bit about your background, some of the things that you've done in the past, kind of like your experience growing up, mainly so to kind of provide the viewer a way of how you've arrived to where you are today. We'll get to that in a moment as far as what you're doing today. But, actually, before we do that, kind of share a little bit about what you're doing today so they can kind of get a good reference of when you go back in time.
All right. So we'll start with the easy part. Today, I guess, I am the owner of Faith and Family Empowerment, LLC. That is my mental health counseling practice where we work with individuals, work with couples, and work with families surrounding mental health issues. We look at working with people not always from a Christian perspective. I say what I like to say more so is we embrace your faith. So if you're a person of faith and you want to have counseling dealing with mental health issues or something, we're one of the places that you can come to, because as a pastoral counselor and even as a pastor, I'm a person of faith. And so your faith will not be dismissed, but we use tools from your faith to enhance your mental wellness.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, I would imagine that, I don't know if business has picked up for you based on what's going on right now, but I know that a lot of people are stressed and worried and anxious because of, job losses and just the fear of the unknown, people getting sick and actually, losing loved ones because of this illness. And so I would imagine that, there's probably a great need and a great demand for your services.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I would say there is a great need. I'm finding interesting things like when it first started, everything was silent for a week or two. But I think that's almost a lot of it because people just didn't know what to do. We entered into this COVID world. All of a sudden, we're at home. We're staying 6 feet away. We can't go see our loved ones. We can't do all these different things. And, so you don't know what to do at first.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I would say it's starting to pick up in my instance, but in a lot of instances, because as it's gone on, it's been, you know, the mental toll and strain and stuff hits on people, you know. You imagine being married to someone for X period of years, and maybe you're on the verge of divorce, and all of a sudden you're stuck in the house together. And neither one of you can go anywhere. That's not
tough.
an easy thing to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, that's tough for sure.
Yeah, look, that's real stuff. I'm dealing with that with people right now.
Especially, hey, in my cases with the kids, it's like I'm home with the kids and they drive me crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the kids don't understand. It's like, okay, daddy's trying to work, but daddy, I need some food right now. and mama and daddy trying to figure out how to do that. Kids want to go outside and play.
Yeah.
I want to go see my friends. You can't go see anybody.
Yeah, you're right.
You know? So you have a lot of different things like that. People dying and you can't go to funerals. It is a world that we haven't experienced in our lifetimes, at least. And
that is so true. So before we get too heavily into this, I want to kind of backtrack a little bit because I want to see how you arrived at this point. Because like I said, when I first met you, probably 30 years ago, I would imagine, close to it. I mean, we're both students at Georgia Tech, studying engineering. And so, through those years, from that point in time to where you are now, just kind of share a little bit about that experience, that path that you took to get to where you are today.
Yeah, man, 30 years ago, rambling wreck from Georgia Tech.
A hell of an engineer, right?
Yeah. And as they say, we got out,
Yeah, we survived.
We got out. Yeah.
So barely.
Yeah. Man, oh man. We have fun with that, but actually I wouldn't trade that place for the world, man. It was definitely the best time being there. But, even I would say I'll just start from the Georgia Tech part of how this journey went. I actually ended up going to Georgia Tech because when I think I was a junior in high school, at my church, there was a lady named Opal Chambly who actually gave my mother and some other people information about the MITE program. They call it Minority Interest.
Mm-hmm. I remember it.
Yeah. And so what happened, my mom took that up to our school. Now, the funny thing is my high school had the information. They just weren't going to tell us about it because I was in a mostly white school at that time.
Wow.
And
that's terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, it just is what it was back then. And so what happened, my mother did some insistence. And from that, I want to say we had 5 Black students go to the MITE program. And I want to say 4 of them actually ended up going to Georgia Tech, and they all graduated. So, I mean, that's awesome. That's just a great thing in itself,
Yeah, it is.
Having to advocate you from the church and different things like that. So that's how I ended up at Georgia Tech. Now, when I'd like to share about my personal testimony, my idea when I got to Georgia Tech, I was going to go to college. I was going to have fun. I'm a preacher's kid, but I wasn't going to go to church. I wasn't going to do none of that stuff. It's like, we're just going to go have fun and do whatever else.
Freedom, right?
Yeah, freedom. Yeah, freedom to do what you want to do. Yeah.
Anytime and anyhow.
Anytime, anyhow. Can sleep late, do it, all this stuff, kind of things I see my kids doing sometimes as a parent.
And we wonder why. It's like, I did that before, so I really shouldn't be too angry.
Yeah, I know. You gotta look at it like, okay, yeah, you might have got that one honestly.
Oh boy.
So that was my intention.
Uh-huh.
But what happened was, in the midst of it, I kept getting invited to Bible study through several friends over the years, and finally, I think it was one Friday, and I was just checking the mailbox, and I was hanging out with another friend of mine, and they said, "Oh, we got rehearsal now. Come on." And I was like, me and the other guy look and go, "Okay, we'll go." And so we get in, and so we go to the choir. I got the preacher's kid background, so I'm used to being in the choir. So then the choir director, Sam Sanders, calls us up there. I go up. The other person stays back. And I like to say in some ways that's called separation of history.
Yep.
So I ended up going in the choir and all that, doing different things like that. And as I became a little more involved with FCB, Fellowship of Christian Believers, I remember one night we're having a Bible study, and I don't even know what the Bible study is on. But in the midst of it, we're supposed to share our testimony.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting here talking to this young lady, and I'm asking her testimony. So I was like, when did you get saved? When did you know the Lord? I don't know a word she said afterward. Because it's almost like whatever I said that was going to her bounced back on me. Yeah. You know, I'd grown up in the church and all that, but dedicating myself to Christ for myself didn't really happen until that moment.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, and so I like to use the phrase, well, saved, but then I also like to use the phrase claiming my faith as my own. And I use that because depending on what denomination or belief system you is, it kind of breaks down into that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was really the beginning of my, I don't want to say the beginning because actually Preacher's Kid, it was there before, but that was really the beginning of me trying to walk more in faith on my own.
Yeah.
So between that, you know, going to several churches over the years, receiving different teachings and different things like that, studying the word on our own, which is one of the great things that I think we did in our campus Bible study. It was like, we trying to figure this thing out for ourselves, you know. You know, anything a college student did with, we try to deal with that on ourselves.
Yeah.
Girls, partying, gambling, studying. Should I stay in school? Should I not stay in school?
Yeah.
We wrestled with a lot of that stuff on our own. And I think that's why it was so important, our faith formation. Because, you know, I like to say it's a little different than just maybe sitting in church and listening to somebody. It's kind of like we figuring this stuff on our own. We arguing, we fussing, we fighting, we praying. Yeah. You know, someone's broke. We giving them money. None of us have money. Let's all share ramen noodles. You know, whatever.
I wish I had joined the group back then, man. I was a heathen the whole time at Tech.
Hey, man, we could have shared some ramen noodles.
I'd had some peanut butter jelly I could at least share, you know, because that's what I was eating on most of the time.
Oh, man, no. Here's the funny thing. If you're real good, like when I went into FCB leadership and was around, you know, at the BSU, they used to serve those lunches, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
$2.50, you get you some chicken, you get you some corn, some greens, and the sweetest tea you have ever had in your life.
Uh-huh.
So that's how I used to survive, was eating there. And what happened was a lot of times, because the ladies knew me and stuff like that, the servers, after a while, they'd be like, hey, don't worry about it. I was like, I can't make it lunch. Don't worry about it. We got something left for you.
Wow.
So, like, part of the time, you know, well, it's 30 years. They don't care now. I wouldn't pay for my meal. Look, I would pay for my meal. I have an extra piece of chicken and some other things because Miss McKay and Daisy and all of them, they like me. So, you know.
That's definitely a blessing for a student,
man,
for sure, man.
That's called God's favor. I was like, between them and juniors, they helped me survive. So, but yeah, so taking that on, you know, learning how to walk through faith, different things like that. Then I move into corporate America. So I move into corporate America, engineer, project manager, you know, doing well, making good money, doing different things like that. But one of the things that was going on inside me was also this sense of calling.